let's start. Let's get into it.
峰越琴ひな運命度67
Wow. 67. Okay, I won't edit it anymore. Well, let's just change it. Let's just keep it that way. Let's just keep the title like that.
明日はバイトの後しばらく残っていよ
Ah. So not stay behind after school hours, but after work? It's gone up a little more, huh? I was starting to get confused. I'd said all those rude things to her yesterday, and she was clearly avoiding me today too. Set title to Lolly Anti. No, I don't think you can. By all rights, our fatedness should have gone down. Was she actually just hiding her embarrassment today or something? Yes. Yeah, right. If only I was that lucky. Have a good night, Dexter. Still, it's obvious that she's been feeling kind of uncomfortable around me. After observing her all day, that was the conclusion I'd come to. Regardless of our fatedness, things were only going to get awkward between me and Sensei at this rate. I guess I should offer a proper apology after all. You're awfully late. It's almost midnight.
思いのほか情報収集に苦労しまして。でも自分の直感を信じて行動してみてよかったです。大きな成果はありましたから。
I didn't really get it, but it seemed as though whatever urgent business she'd had gone well. Normally, she would have said this with a smug look of superiority on her face. However, and so the pure, unadulterated smile currently on her face made me a little curious. Nice.
疲れたのでもう寝てもいいですか?
You're determined to stay at my house no matter what, huh?
ここが私のお家ですから。
Don't make it sound like I've ever agreed to that. I only said that you could stay here until my contract with the Love Note is over.
わかってますよ。
Yeah, well, you know, if you're out and Uta's route means anything, yeah, you're not going to be able to stay here after we marry the love interest. But whatever. I was planning on going to bed soon, too, anyway. I'm turning off the lights.
はーい、おやすみなさい。
Contract, huh? Though I was the one who said it, I'd completely forgotten about it up until now. My contract with Love Miel was supposed to last until my fatedness had, with someone reached 100. Yeah, and he's gonna be like, oh, well, what happens if I do? And then he was like, but what happens if I don't? And then, erectile dysfunction. Or until 90 days had passed since I came into possession of the Love Note. In either case, I had less than 3 months left. That's how time works, yes. If I really did manage to find love, did that mean Love Miel would disappear? Though I'd normally never have a problem voicing this question aloud tonight, for some reason it remains stuck in the back of my throat. Like a long sequence with no music. Hang on, holy. After getting out from the bath, I heaved a long sigh. It was my nightly routine, the sigh, to take one right before bed in order to fall asleep smoothly. As usual, I took a quick bath and headed straight to bed. However, I wasn't able to lie down right away. Damn, she really said his name. I hadn't been able to take my mind off of him all day today. Before I realized it, I was following him around with my eyes, wondering about his friends and who he hung out with. And yet, whenever he came to speak with me, my heart would pound, and I'd end up doing something to try to avoid him. Some teacher I was. Yeah, now your student is misunderstanding because he's denser than a black hole. I knew it was pathetic, but I couldn't help but feel conscious about him. The game told you to be. Very simple. The truth be told, I'd been interested in Sakuma-kun for a long time now. Oh, hang on. And that reason was... Ale Koimi-san. Any way you look at it, she was extremely close with Sakuma-kun. I always saw them together, always chatting happily and intimately. However... Haha! At times, I couldn't help but see Eri's figure overlapping with hers. Well, that's because, they are the same. Sometimes it almost seemed as though Eri herself was sharing this intimate friendship with Sakuma-kun. And as a result, I felt myself feeling strangely intimate with him as well. Okay. It was obvious that my credibility would have taken a hit if I told anyone that I became a teacher as a way of atoning my sins. That's why I'd kept my mouth shut about it all this time. And yet, I'd ended up revealing the truth yesterday. To my own student, Sakuma-kun. But his response had defied all expectations. In that case, allow me to speak for myself. I wish you wouldn't keep on holding on to this, Sensei. Speaking as your student, I don't think you should be letting your personal circumstances influence your teaching. It troubles me that your motivation to... It troubles me that that's your motivation to be an educator. Every time I thought back on it, my body wouldn't stop fidgeting. Unable to sit still, I flopped down onto my bed. It troubles me that that's your motivation to be an educator. There was both anger and admonishment in his words. As a teacher, I was ashamed to be scolded by my own student, but Strangely enough, it didn't feel upset. I didn't feel upset about it, by it. If anything, it made me happy. Having someone get angry at me.
叱られたのに嬉しいって変なの？でもあそこまではっきり叱ってくれる人なんてエリ以外いなかったもんね。佐久間くん。
His name slipped naturally out of my mouth. Just what is going on with me? I've been acting strange since yesterday.
エリがいけないのよ。彼に甘えたりするから私も気になっちゃって。って違うわね。エリじゃなくて小泉さんよ。何言ってるの？
No. That's Eri. She just doesn't know it. How many times am I going to get it wrong?
あの二人、前は付き合ってないって言ってたけど、どう見てもお似合いよね。
It must be nice. If I were to find someone of my own as well, I'd wish she was as kind as and caring as Sakuma-kun too. Yeah?
何考えてるの私。あろうことか教え子の名前を出しちゃうなんて。
Don't worry, it's fine, Minakoshi. It's an arrogate, so I must have finally lost it. You know, teacher-student relationships, they're normal in anime. I need to get some sleep and soon.
きっとエリだって佐久間くんのことを気に入るわよね。こんな私を心配してくれるくらいいい子なんだもの。
Freshly drained. Feeling drained. What's it? Freshly drained. Nice. Feeling drained, I dropped my head down into my pillow.
私は恋愛なんてしちゃいけないから。
Like a penitent prayer, I whispered to myself before quietly closing my eyes. Damn, if only I could sleep that easily. I think she's still avoiding me after all. The next day after work, following the love note's advice from yesterday, I remained in the break room, killing time by grumbling to myself.
確かに今日もあからさまにつむぐさんのことを避けてましたよね、先生。
Yeah.
でも嫌っているわけではないのは確かですよ。
If we're only talking about numbers, I suppose. If I recall, our fadedness had been around 67 last night. I wasn't sure how much I believed that though.
佐久間先輩、大丈夫ですか？
I'm fine.
昨日今日と全く進展がないせいで落ち込んで死んでるんですね。かわいそうです。
Enough with the pity party. Who even told you I haven't been making any progress lately?
カマをかけただけです。
Oi.
それにしても先輩、チャレンジャーですね。まさか峰越先生を恋の相手に選ぶとは。まあ、わからなくはないですけど、 峰越先生美人ですし。
Kosaki-san agreed and nodded an agreement. What do you think my chances are with her?
そんなのあるわけ。ないとも言えないんですよね。最近の峰越先生、佐久間先輩に対して様子がおかしいようですし。
Apparently, Kosaki-san had been observing Minakoshi-sensei and I in secret. There really was no underestimating this girl.
クルルさんのお墨付きももらったことですし、もっと自信持ちましょうよ、つむぐさん。
I don't know if I'd call that confidence.
あ、そういえば大事な要件を伝え忘れてました。たった今、峰越先生がご来店されましたよ。
Oh wow, what a coincidence. Why didn't you say that in the beginning?
明日が休日ということもあって客はまだそこそこいるが、そんなに忙しいわけでもない。話し相手はしてやるからゆっくりしていくといい。さすがに悪いわ。小腹を満たしたらすぐに帰るわね。
This is why the love note told me to stay after work yesterday. Nah. Incredible. I never should have doubted it.
店長が自ら相手をするとおっしゃってましたが、何を話してるか気になりますよね。
Me too. It wasn't often that I saw Minakoshi-sensei coming to visit Kinu-san at work, even if they were old friends.
配膳の時に近くに寄ってこっそり聞いてきます。もし重そうな話だったら聞かなかったことにしますので。
さあさあ、体育祭といえば3年の時の騎馬戦では大活躍だったわよね。一人で相手陣営の騎馬を全滅させてなかった？
開始10秒で沈んだお前の牙をおとりにしてうまいこと立ち回ったからな。
運動は苦手だったんだから仕方ないじゃない。
あっさり沈んで男子どもが残念そうにしてたな。さぞかしもっと揺れるところが見たかったんだろう。
揺れるって何のこと？
逆に興味あるくらいの日常会話しかしてませんね。
いたって平和じゃないですか。
So she really was just here to pay Kinu-san a visit, huh? I suppose I shouldn't have expected her to talk about Eri Amaki, even if Kinu-san was in the same class as her. She wouldn't have brought it up in such a public setting.
普段会わない旧友と世間話をしに来るくらい実生活で追い詰められているということかもですね。
Don't tell me I'm the one who's been stressing her out. I'm sure it's fine.
そろそろ先輩も帰り支度しておいた方がいいですよ。峰越先生、そんなに長居するつもりはないようなので。
What are you implying? Wait, what? Are you implying I should walk home together with her or something?
好きな女の人を夜一人で帰らせるんですか？
Well, to be honest, I've already finished packing up.
さすが先輩です。
おーい、誰
言ったそばからですね。
私が行ってきますよ。店長、お皿下げに来ましたよ。
お前まだ残ってたのか。タイムカード切ったんだろ。
まあまあ、これはサービス残業ということで。
エリー？
No. Oh, Sensei shout echoed through the restaurant. And it was unmistakably directed at Ale.
エリー？
Was the resemblance really that uncanny? Yeah, considering that they're literally the same person. She'd mentioned before that Ale looked just like her, but were in charge. But we're in charge of hairstyle and clothes. Were a change in hairstyle and clothes really enough to make Sensei mistake her for her friend? Ariamaki?
アホ抜かすなことひな。よく見ろ、お前の生徒だぞ。
カイミさんだったのね。ごめんなさい。先生、変な勘違いしちゃったわ。
いえ、大丈夫です。お皿下げちゃいますね。
ありがとう。そういえばここで働いてるって言ってたわよね。この前歓迎会にも呼ばれたばかりなのに。
まったくだ。担任教師ともあろうものが情けない。
Oof.
キヌ、カイミさんたちをこき使ったりしてないわよね。
こき使わなきゃ仕事にならんだろうが。そういう心配はいいからとっとと帰れ。お題はつけといてやるから。
あら、それじゃあお言葉に甘えちゃおうかしら。
またいつでも来い。さすがにおごるのは今回限りだが、今日みたいな世間話でも話して気が紛れるならいくらでも付き合ってやる。
ありがとう、キヌ。それじゃあ私はこれで。
Sensei, good evening.
佐久間くん、どうしてここに？
I work here. I just finished my shift, actually.
バイト？あ、そっか。佐久間くんもここで働いていたんだったわね。
I got the feeling Kozaki-san was giving me a thumbs up from behind. It must have been a little unnatural after all, making my appearance just as she was about to leave.
ちょうどいいじゃないですか、つむぐさん。琴ひな先生を送ってあげたらどうです？
Yeah. Yeah.
夜道は危ないですし、誰からついてもらった方がいいですよ。ねえ、店長。小崎さんまで。
まあ、ことひなならいいんじゃないか。
If it's alright with you, let me walk you back, Sensei. I'm worried about you going home alone. Hey.
じゃあ、途中まで。
Understood. Alright, Kuru-san. I'll be going now.
先生、バイバ
先生、まんざらでもなさそうでしたね。
ーイ。はい、間違いなく大きな一歩になりそうです。
お前らは一体何を企んでるんだ？
いえいえ、何も。ただ成り行きを見守っているだけですよ。
Yeah, there's no scheming. There's no ulterior motives here. The two of us walked silently down the street without a word. Although the situation was obviously a little forced, things were still rather awkward. Maybe this was a rash decision after all. I thought I couldn't see Sensei's face very well in the dark. I sensed she was... though I couldn't see Sensei's face very well in the dark, I sensed she was making a very nervous expression. But after going through all this trouble of being alone with her, there was no point in being cautious anymore. Sensei? There's no need to be that surprised. I know it's a bit late to say this now, but I'm sorry for getting so ahead of myself.
大丈夫よ。一人で帰るよりは安心するから助かっているわ。
Oh, I'm sorry for getting ahead of myself today, too. I was actually apologizing for what I said during our consultation the other day.
進路相談？
You know, when I said your reasons for becoming a teacher troubled me. I wanted to apologize this whole time. It was incredibly rude. I'm sorry. I turned to face her, then lowered my head.
謝らなくていいわよ。あなたの言い分は正しいんだから。
But ever since then, you've been avoiding me, haven't you, Sensei? That means you've been feeling uncomfortable around me, right?
それは恥ずかしくて。
Huh?
なんでもないです。あのね、佐久間くん。私はむしろあなたに感謝しているのよ。
Wait, you are?
ええ。あなたがバッサリ本音を言ってくれたおかげで、私は教師としての自分を見つめ直すことができたわ。私、まだまだ自分に甘えていたみたいね。生徒にお叱りを受けるようじゃ、教師失格よ。
No, that's not what I...
教師っていうのは、どんな事情を抱えていても、毅然と教壇に立たなくてはいけないものなの。それなのに、教え子に同情を誘うようなことを言って、あなたに迷惑かけちゃったものね。
Sensei.
エリが目指していた教師は、きっと今の私みたいなものじゃないわよね。佐久間くんの一言でそれに気づかされたわ。おかげで私もっと頑張らなきゃって思ったの。生徒に不安を与えないような強い先生にならなきゃ。あなたの一言のおかげよ。ありがとう、佐久間くん。
That wasn't the response I'd been looking for. I simply wanted to get back on friendly speaking terms with Minakoshi-sensei. But now she seemed to be harder on herself than ever before. I couldn't help but feel frustrated at the almost selfish way she she interpreted my words. Sensei, Huh? Crap, a car! Sensei, look out! It passed by without incident. Even so, it had been going way too fast, given how dark it was outside. If it had been a little slower, Minakoshi Sensei might have... if I'd been a little slower, Minakoshi Sensei might have been in danger. Are you okay, Sensei? When I turned around, her finely featured face was right in front of my own. Even in the dark, I could clearly make out her expression. That's how close we were. Sorry,
ええ、おかげで助かったわ。ありがとう。
The hand that I was holding felt slightly cold to the touch. But by contrast, the face was inches from my own, was flushed red with heat. Her soft, full lips moved soundlessly. Her warm, sweet breath caressed my face. With her this close to me, I couldn't stop myself. What do you...
佐久間くん、そろそろ手を。
I didn't want to let go of this hand. I'm sorry, but I want to stay like this just a little bit longer. I have something I need to say.
何急に。
I know I apologized for saying this earlier, but to be frank now, you're troubling me as well. All that stuff about Eri-san, about becoming a dependable teacher as your student, it bothers me hearing you say that.
ごめんなさい。
Her voice grew quieter and quieter. But I couldn't back down now. I had to convey my feelings to her as directly as possible. Whatever feelings you have towards Eri Amaki, I can obviously never fully understand. But at the very least, I wish you wouldn't hold back when you're with me. It's okay for you to open up about your past, like you did back then. The feelings you have for Eri Amaki, the guilt you have toward her, it's okay to say those things aloud. But please, forget about being a teacher or being an adult. If you have to be vulnerable, do so as a woman. And likewise, I'll accept it all, not as a student, but as a man.
佐久間くん、どういうこと？
I just can't leave you alone. As someone who knows about your past, I don't want to leave you alone. The reason I said you're troubling me is because you're trying to keep it all to yourself. Please stop thinking that you have to do all of this alone. What do you say? Will you show me your vulnerable side? Sensei? I finally said everything I wanted to. These feelings that I have for Minakoshi Sensei. I expressed myself exactly the way I'd wanted. That's right. I didn't want it to hold back anymore. The burden she was carrying may be heavy, but I didn't want her to shoulder it alone. And above all else, I wanted to help her. Minikoshi-sensei looked at the ground, avoiding my eyes. I decided to wait. Tossing aside all shame and embarrassment, I simply continued to gaze at her until she turned to look at me. However,
佐久間くん、お願い。離れて。
Sensei, I still...
離れて。
I sensed the rejection in her voice, which was thinner and lower than usual. Reflexively, I released her hand. As she stepped away from me, Sensei's beautiful face became shrouded in darkness once more. I could no longer read what she was thinking anymore.
ありがとう。心配してくれて。でも、ダメよ。先生相手にこんなことをしちゃ。
I'm serious though.
それがいけないのよ。あなたには恋美さんがいるでしょ。
No. Huh? What did Ale have to do with this?
もうここまででいいわ。送ってくれてありがとう。それじゃあね。
The inscrutable tone in her voice lingered in my ears even after she was gone. Bro didn't even try to Bro didn't even try to deny it. For a while, I simply stood on the spot, remembering the feeling of her chilly hands in mine. Hey, I didn't know you were already home.
帰ってきたのはついさっきです。実は途中から紡さんたちの後を追ってたんですよ。
You were?
ごめんなさい。
She stuck out her tongue playfully.
見ちゃ悪いなとは思いましたけど、よかったじゃないですか。ラッキーな展開になれて。
Not really. I was able to apologize and say the things I'd wanted to say, but Sensei's reaction to those things was another matter entirely. I'd still yet to find a way into her heart. There had to be some kind of crucial misunderstanding between us after all.
なるほど。思ったより早く行動に移すべきですね。
What'd you say?
いえ、なんでも。でも楽しかったですよね。久しぶりに二人きりになれて。
Well, I suppose. I'll have to check the love note to see how things went. Though, you're gonna take a look too, aren't you?
いえ、今日は結構です。
Huh?
それよりも、紡さん的には先生とうまくやっていけそうですか？
I don't know.
先生とお付き合いしたいんですよね。
Well, yeah.
そうですか。うんうん。
What's with her? Elle's been acting a little strange for some time now. Come to think of it, what happened to that urgent business you had yesterday? You all done with that already?
はい、昨日で全て終わりましたから。
I see.
はい。
Look, there's clearly something you...
拉致が開かないんで、もう行っちゃいますね。
Oh. Saying this, she calmly stood up and went over to the window. The expression on her face was one I seldom saw her make, a look of utter seriousness.
つむぐさん、あなたには今までとてもお世話になってきましたが、訳あって私は今日をもってつむぐさんのおそばを離れることになりました。
Oh, wait, hang on, that's not how it works. Huh?
上からの命令なんです。別の任務が入っちゃいまして。けど、契約自体は終わってないので、ラブノートはそのままお貸しします。自由に使ってくださ
Oh,
い。
thank fuck. I won't be inept after. I won't be inept.
つまりこれからは私のサポートなしで琴ひな先生を落としてくださいね。
Hold on. What the heck are you saying about, talking about all of a sudden? What do you mean parting ways? Aren't you supposed to be my angel? If our contract isn't over yet, how can you just take off like this?
だから言ってるじゃないですか。上の命令だって。
Then call this higher up here right now. What was his name? The Archangel? I want to talk to him directly.
もう強情ですね。私に固執する必要はないでしょうに。あなたは今琴ひな先生を追っかけてるんですから、私に構わず先生に集中してくださいよ。
I'm not clinging to you. I'm asking you why you're suddenly leaving out of the blue.
仕方ないですね。
Huh? I couldn't understand what I was seeing. I squinted my eyes and looked again. I wasn't mistaken. Lovielle was ruthlessly drawing her bow, and her arrow was pointed directly at me. What are you doing?
私の言葉がどれくらい本気かを分かりやすく視覚化してあげました。言っときますけど、今回は許可を得てますから。最初の頃みたいに天罰とか受けません。今すぐこの手を離してもいいんですよ。
She pulled the string back even further. If she relaxed her grip, for even an instant, the arrow would come flying straight toward me, directly toward my heart.
できれば撃たせないでほしいですね。そのままおとなしく私から距離を取ってください。
Her tone bordered on threatening. I'd never heard Lovielle speak like this before. She must really be serious this time. But even so, there was no way I could just give up.
意地でも引き止めようとしますか。
Can't accept this. If I've done something wrong, then I apologize. If you have some other complaints, then I'll listen. So just be honest with me. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. For a moment, I thought I saw her expression falter.
つむぐさん、あなたに対して不満はありません。お世話になったと心から思っています。だからこそ、もう私の助けがなくてもやっていけるだろうと思ったんです。
That makes no sense. I lunged forward and tried to grab her bow. But I was a second too late.
さよなら、つむぐさん。
The arrow's sharpened tip pierced through my chest. The impact was far more powerful than I could have imagined, sending me flying back. Oh well, I guess Sumugu's dead. There was never really a teacher ending. There was no Minakoshi sensei. There was no pain. But its effects were unmistakable. My vision quickly began to dim. Damn it. Wait. I struggled to call out, but my voice only echoed in vain. And the last thing I saw before my consciousness faded was the sight of Lemuel disappearing into the night. The next morning, I woke up around the same time as usual. Have a good night, Dexter. Somehow, I found myself on top of my bed. Despite the fact that I'd fallen asleep on the ground last night. Or rather, lost consciousness on the ground. I vividly recall last night's event. Why did you pin your typo? Lemuel suddenly declaring her departure. Lemuel pointing her an arrow at me. Lemuel truly disappearing. What do you mean, I looked around my room, but there were no traces of her having returned. All her personal belongings had gone. It was almost like I'd gone back in time 1 month ago.
あれ、兄さん、祝日なのに早起きですね。
Guess I couldn't sleep any longer. Is there anything to eat?
はい、あと少し待っててください。
Although I didn't have much hope. Once I was done eating, I decided to go out and try to search for her. It was frustrating, but that was about the only thing I could do now, right now. Why hasn't she come back at all? She hasn't come back after all. I went around to a bunch of places I thought Lemuel might have gone to last night, but I hadn't found anything. Even by the time evening rolled around, she hadn't returned. By the time I realized it, my precious holiday had come and gone. Damn it. I'm gonna remember this the next time I see her. I'm not gonna let her off for ruining my day off. I'll let her off easy.
おはようつむぐ。昨日のかりんちゃんの配信見た？
Huh? Oh, I guess I forgot.
どうしちゃったの？最近見逃し多くない？
It's not entirely my fault though. I looked toward the seat of the person who was mostly to blame, but as expected, it was empty. Was she not planning to show up at school from now on either? She'd been having so much fun too. As my gaze wandered, my eyes happened to meet Saijo-san's. What is it, Saijo-san?
別に何でもないわよ。
エイルちゃん、今日休み？
Looks like it. I haven't heard anything from her though.
珍しい。つむちゃん最近仲良かったのに。おっと、また後でね。
One after the other, our classmates took their seats. Once everyone was sitting down, Minakoshi-sensei appeared in the doorway. As she stood up, at the teacher's podium, our eyes quickly met. She was as pretty as always. But after what happened the day before yesterday, I was sure she'd avoid my gaze again. Or so I thought. For some reason, there was something sad in the way she looked at me. And something inside her changed. I'll have to ask Ale what she thinks later. Oh wait, Ale's not here anymore. Afterwards, I continued to feel Sensei's ambiguous gaze on me from time to time. But as hours rolled by, I was unable to find the chance to talk to her properly.
やっと部活だ。
By the time I realized it, it was already time to go home. Time passed way too quickly when I was distracted.
ちょっと雲出てきたか？
この後雨降るってよ。部活屋内になるかもな。
やば、今日雨具持ってきてなかった。
What a coincidence. Me neither.
あ、本当？紡ぐと一緒なら問題あるよね。それなのになんで涼しい顔してるの？
Not much I can do about it now.
なんか紡ぐ、やけに落ち着いてる？最近情緒不安定じゃない？大丈夫？悟りの境地でも開いた？
No, this is his depression arc, Masora. You wouldn't understand. I can't tell if you're worried about me or making fun of me. As the final bell rang, Minakoshi-sensei entered the classroom. Her usual gentle smile.
突然ですが、皆さんに悲しいお知らせがあります。
Was nowhere to be seen. As she continued to speak, her expression echoed the words of the weight of her next words.
本日お休みされている小見エイルさんですが、この度家庭の事情で転校することが決まりました。
What? Family circumstances. Transferring. The classroom instantly burst into whispers at the sudden mention of those words.
本当は皆さんときちんとお別れしたかったみたいなのですが、あまりにも急なことだったので。小泉さんはもう本国のリーベル王国に戻っています。学園にも連絡があり、皆さんへもそのように伝えてほしいとのことで。転校っていくらなんでも急すぎない？一昨日はそんなこと言ってなかったのに。
Masaru was right. Leaving this announcement until the final homeroom of the day was just too cruel. She really did play us for fools up until the very end. There was no point in thinking about someone who wasn't here anymore. I needed to get over it and move on. But before that, there was one last thing I needed to confirm. Or rather, something I needed to settle.
いらっしゃいませ。って紡ぐじゃないか。今日シフト入っていなかったよな。
No, I've just got something I needed to do.
客として来ていないのならこのままシフトに入ってくれるとありがたいんだが、何せ急に一人減ってしまってな。
You already heard, huh?
今日の昼にな。家族が大変なことになって急遽国に帰らなきゃいけなくなったなんて突然来たもんだから驚いたもんだ。しかし事情が事情だからな。文句の一つも言えなかったよ。
That was unusual. especially for Kinu-san of all people.
で欠員を埋めてくれるのか？
Sorry, I can't, but I'll try to see if Masora is free. Fortunately, I was able to get a hold of Masora, and he agreed to come in right away. I'm trying to speak over the... I'm trying to sound somber while trying to speak over the sound of this rain that's blasting into my ears. Well... Which... There you go. I can hear my own thoughts again. Considering how dejected, he must have been as well, I was extremely grateful. Rain's getting even heavier. It had started to drizzle soon after I left the restaurant, and showed no signs of stopping or slowing. It would have been nice if the rain could have held off a bit longer. I didn't have any rain gear, and my house was quite far after all. I was going to get drenched. I suppose I could just buy an umbrella from a nearby convenience store, but... whatever. I'll just head home like this. Uh-huh? Sensei? As I was about halfway home, I suddenly ran into someone rather unusual. The moment she saw my face, she came splashing across the road toward me. What are you doing here?
それはこっちのセリフよ。こんなにずぶ濡れになって。ほら、早く傘に入って。
Oh, thank you. I forgot to bring mine today.
それならどうしてどこかで雨宿りしていかないの？こんな雨の中ふらふらと歩き回って風邪でもひいたらどうするのよ。
Yeah, but this is the depression arc. He's meant to be soaked in the rain. Why is she getting upset with me?
ごめんなさい。あなただって辛いでしょうに。でもだからといってそんなに自暴自棄にならないで。あなたが落ち込んでいるのを見ると私も悲しいわ。すぐ近くに私の家があるの。一人暮らしだし他に誰もいないからシャワーだけでも浴びていって。
Your place? No, that's really not.
お願いよ。今あなたを一人にしたくないの。
Sensei. Thanks for letting me use your shower. Ultimately, I ended up going to Minakoshi Sensei's apartment and borrowing her shower as she'd insisted.
ちゃんと温まってきた？
Yes. Oh, and thanks for the change of clothes too. Since I didn't have anything else to wear, Sensei had lent me her tracksuit. The size was a bit small, but more importantly, it made me somewhat nervous being enveloped by a scent.
濡れた制服は乾かしてるからもう少し待ってね。
Thank you for everything, really.
いいのよ。気にしないで。小泉さんのことごめんなさいね。
Once I was comfortable, and my heat had begun to cool off. What? Since I looked into my face and murmured a few words.
今日の昼頃にいきなり連絡が来てね。突然のことで私たち教師も焦ったわ。
There's more than one teacher? Everyone at work is at a loss too. It's all Ael's fault. Don't blame yourself.
そうも言ってられないでしょ。小泉さんがいなくなって寂しいんじゃないの？
Lonely?
小泉さんのこと大切に思っていたんじゃないの？ただの友達という関係には見えなかったもの。あなたたちは。
Well, naturally, she wasn't my friend or my classmate or anything like that. She was my contractor, my angel. That was the extent of our relationship. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't tell me you still think we're dating or something. Like I said before, I don't have that kind of relationship with her.
ゆくゆくはそうなるのかなって思ってたわ。
I'm mistaken, Sensei. Neither of us felt that way about each other. Besides, I was more interested in Minakoshi Sensei from the start. Yeah, I already did Ael's route. She's old news. Although, you're not wrong when you said I cared for her.
佐久間くん。
Well, it was true that what I said about her being my angel and my contractor. Thanks to her sleeping in my room every night, doing whatever she wanted, I almost did kind of think of her like family. Now that I thought about it, Uta and I had been living on our own for years now. Having grown used to living without parents, Uta and I had fended for ourselves. But out of the blue, Lomiel had but out of the blue, Lomiel had burst into our lives. Although she was a total airhead, and could be quite the handful to deal with, living with her was somehow rather fun as well. I'd even begun to think that maybe it wasn't so bad that to have been mixed up in all this love note business after all. Nice. As long as Lobriel was there with me, at least. Huh. Maybe that's why it bothers me so much. I guess it's not surprising that losing someone close to me is hard to swallow. Because it reminds me of when my mom died.
佐久間くん。
Huh? Sensei? Suddenly, I felt a warm embrace around me. That warmth was incredibly tender and soft. When I saw Minakoshi Sensei's face in front of mine, I finally realized I was being hugged.
私ね、ちょっと前まであなたのことをとても強い人だと思っていたわ。まだ学生なのにしっかりとした考えを持ってるし、妹さん思いで勉学もバイトも頑張ってて、私に対しても強くものを言えるから。
That was...
背伸びしていただけなのよね。私のことを心配して、あなたはわざと強く言ってくれてたんでしょ？でもそんなあなたにも悲しいことはあるし、寂しい気持ちも 確かにあるの。どうかそれは認めて、そして素直になってちょうだい。
Her arms wrapped even tighter around mine. Each time she squeezed me, her soft, sweet fragrance tickled my nostrils.
佐久間くんも言ってくれたわよね。私に我慢するなって。苦しいこともすべて受け止めるからって。その気持ちは私も同じなのよ。
は？
あなたが苦しんでいるのなら、私がそれを受け止めてあげるわ。大切な人がいなくなった悲しみは、私にも理解できるから。
Yeah, it's crazy that it's happened to you twice. I mean, Love Me Yell wasn't airy, but she basically was.
だから一人で抱え込まないで、佐久間くん。せめて私の前では我慢しなくていいのよ。
Hey, yo. Once you said those words, my final thread of self-control snapped.
佐久間くん、佐久間くん。
Before I realized it, I had pushed Minakoshi-sensei down onto the bed. I was mounted on top of her, preventing her, not prevented, there's still no, it's not past tense, preventing her from getting up.
佐久間くん、どうしたの？
A look of consternation crossed her face. That was only natural. There was no teacher out there who would just let their student do something like this. The fuck does consternation mean? Hang on. Consternation. A feeling of anxiety or dismay, typically at something unexpected. Ah, okay. No matter how kind of a person she was, there were still some things I couldn't get away with. I know this, I know all this, and yet I couldn't stop myself anymore. Sensei, I'm sorry, but please, just for today, indulge me just for a little while.
佐久間くん。
I'm sorry, I wasn't particularly distraught when she left, but I can't deny that it feels like she left a hole in my heart. Now that she's gone, I do feel a little lonely. Yeah, Sakuma. Manipulation. I'm not as strong as you think I am, Sensei. I've only been putting on a front. Pretending to be tough. If I didn't, I wouldn't have been able to take care of Uta, or face my mother, or look my father in the eye. He hasn't looked his father in the eye once. That's the only way I've known how to live up until now. But losing someone who I thought was thought of as family might be too much for me after all.
佐久間くん。
I'm sorry, Sensei. I didn't know whether I was apologizing for what I was doing or for being weak anymore. When I realized how powerless I really was, I couldn't help but yearn for Sensei even more. I yearned for someone who could be my rock, Even after doing something like this and making this pathetic confession, still, Sensei said nothing. Even though she had every right to resist. In fact, I almost wanted her to.
いいのよ。
Ah, hang on. And yet, she gave me a gentle smile.
妹さんのことも恋美さんのこともあなたは一人で抱え込みすぎなの。
Hang on.
さっきも言ったでしょ。私の前では我慢しないでって。
Are you sure, Sensei? Slowly, her hand came to a rest on my cheek, tenderly, lovingly, as though stroking her own child. Hang on, don't put it like that. With what you're going to do, don't. Her hand felt so warm that I nearly felt my eyes beginning to water with tears. Sensei, I lowered myself down over her.
佐久間くん
and slowly brought my face to hers. You know what? Not the worst, I've heard. Our lips touched so suddenly that I couldn't quite recall how it felt. They were soft, so soft that it almost didn't feel like I had made contact. And so once wasn't nearly enough. This is the good shit. Sensei. Although I kissed her a little more forcefully, she showed no signs of resisting. In fact, she softly caressed my face. Sensei. I went away for breakfast and now they're kissing. Can you call me by my name? Just when we're alone together. I want to call you by your name too, Sensei.
あなたがそうしてほしいならいいわよ。つむぐくん
Kotohina. Hang on.
よしよし。
Hang on. Kotohina.
我慢しなくていいの。私の前では素直でいていいのよ。
Outside, the gray sky shrouded the town in a thick, gloomy darkness. But in this one dimly lit corner of the city, the two of us quietly embraced each other, As though to purge ourselves of everything we'd bottled up until now. As though to share our sadness and pain with one another. We continued to lock lips for hours on end. Yeah.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
That's all they did. They were only kissing. When I woke up, the sky outside was refreshingly clear. It was almost as though the storm from yesterday had never happened.
おはよう、つむぐくん。
Good morning, Kotohina. Still feeling a bit awkward. The two of us found it a little different to look each other in the face. Difficult.
なんだか変な感じね。
Yeah. Last night, we had both lost track of time and spent hours making out with each other. By the time we realized that the sky was already pitch black. After finally coming back to our senses, we decided it would be best for me to stay over since it was so late. The scary part was that I hadn't contacted Uta about it. However, thanks for indulging me yesterday. I don't think I'm going to forget last night anytime soon.
唇がすっかりふやけちゃったわ。
Whoop. I felt a shiver run down my spine as she licked her lips suggestively. God. She was ridiculously cute and sexy. After everything we did, it was safe to assume that we were going out now, right?
それでね、一つだけ約束してほしいことがあるの。
Yes.
このことは二人だけの秘密にしてね。
No shit. Sakuma's still in... Tsumuga's still in school. I know. You still have appearances to keep up after all.
バレたら即刻首をはねられちゃうわ。
You need to keep it at least until after he graduates, and even then, it's still a bit taboo. Even after he's graduated, so even then, you still need to give it like 5 years before it's acceptable. She jokingly drew a finger across her neck. This was a relationship between teacher and student. Naturally, we couldn't let anyone know about us. Anyway, it's probably about time I headed home. But would it be alright if we hung out again sometime?
もちろん。
A 5-hour makeout session again. Great. Well, I'd better get going.
朝ごはんだけでも食べていったら？
I appreciate the offer, but it's going to be a huge pain if Uta wakes up before I get back, so maybe we can save it for next time.
そう。わかったわ。それじゃあ気をつけて帰ってね。
I will. I'll stop by again, Kotohina.
ええ。待ってるわ。つむぐくん。
Thus, my secret relationship began with my beautiful homeroom teacher.
これでよかったのかしら。でも、私はどうしても。ごめんね、エリー。
Kotohina will not be able to pull off a poker face. This shit's gonna turn into one of the worst kept secrets. Although I said I'd stop by again, In the end, several days passed without us seeing each other due to our schedules. It shouldn't be long before Golden Week was over. But just as that unease began creeping over me, I was finally able to arrange another visit to Kotahina's apartment today. With a bounce in my step, I headed toward her place. I was more excited than I'd been in a long time today. According to the love note, things have been going well too. From what I saw last night, our fatedness was currently at 87. Lamiel had once told me the fatedness of 80 essentially meant that that two people were lovers. Although neither of us had specifically confessed our feelings for each other yet, it was safe to say that we were in a relationship. That said, it doesn't seem like it'd be reaching 100 anytime soon. Yeah. What the fuck? Was that just me, or was the music like buggy as some shit? But yeah, you're gonna have to wait until at least graduating before marriage is an option. Although Kotahina and I were dating now, I still couldn't say for certain that I had made my way into her heart. Somewhere inside, I still felt as though a part of her was rejecting me. Yeah, the teacher side. But that was because... Wait, no. And, I think. And that was because... No, stop it. Let's not think about... let's not have these depressing thoughts right now. I was here to have fun with Kotahina today.
いらっしゃい、つむぐくん。
Good morning, Kotahina. With the same smile as always, she welcomed me into her room. Seems like she was just in her regular loungewear today. Even in those plain clothes, she looked amazingly cute.
なんだか久しぶりね。ゴールデンウィークだからいっぱい会おうって言ったのに3日くらい空いちゃったし。
Yeah, I've been pretty lonely too, to be honest. That's why... I know this is kind of sudden, but is it okay if I hug you?
そういうのは許可を取らずにやるものよ。
Sorry. I guess I'm still having feelings, still feeling a bit hesitant. But, alright, Kotahina. As I held her against my chest, she let out an alluring sigh. I hugged her hard, as though to vent out the frustration of not being able to see her all week. Too tight?
ちょっとだけね。でもこのままでいいわ。
Alright, just like this then. For a while, we simply remained like this. Standing at the entrance, sharing each other's warmth. Thank you for the food.
はい、お粗末様。
After lunchtime, Kotahina treated me to some of her homemade cooking. Though a little cliche, she had cooked me an omelette rice. Unsurprisingly, however, she hadn't gone so far as to draw a heart in the ketchup. Seriously, it was delicious. The creamy way that you cooked the eggs was exactly how I like it.
本当？それなら作った甲斐があったわね。
I feel like I could eat this every day. In fact, I wish you would make this for me every day.
毎日って、まさかそういう？
Become my egg wife. Only cook egg. Huh? No, I didn't mean it like that.
そういうのじゃないの？
At least not yet. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but what am I saying? Anyway, this was the first time I've ever eaten anyone's home cooking outside of my own family, so I'm just feeling really moved.
言い過ぎよ。そういえばいつもは妹さんが作ってくれてるんだっけ？
Yeah, a few years ago, she couldn't even hold a ladle properly. But now, her cooking is absolutely second to none. As her brother, I guarantee it.
そう。そんなに美味しいんだ。
Competition! For some reason, Kortahina pouted a little.
お弁当も作ってもらってるんだもんね。
That's right. Every day. And it's always delicious without fail. Honestly, I can't thank her enough.
そうなんだ。
She's got competition. Doth I smell jealousy, perhaps? She seemed rather unamused. The love you put in your cooking makes it taste better, though.
そのフォローはちょっと急すぎかな。
I know what you're talking about. Damn it, I screwed up. Could it be that you're actually the jealous type?
多分そうかも。この前も気が気じゃなかったくらいだし。
What do you mean last time?
その漫画の話。
Your way of playing dumb is pretty old-fashioned, huh? Are you saying you were jealous of Ale? Looks like I hit the bullseye. You're too cute, Kortahina.
いきなりそんなこと言わないで。
You're so cute that I can't help but feel like hugging you again.
それはいいよ。
Kortahina! Oh my.
キスまでされるとは思わなかったわ。
Yeah, my bad. Your lips were just right there.
あなたは目の前に唇があったらキスするの？
Only if they're yours.
またふやけちゃう。
Well, look. Tsubugu's swollen all the time. She blushed, licking her lips. That gesture only turned me on even more. I already said, he's already swollen. But leaving that aside for now. So it really was Ale you were jealous of.
そうね。傍から見てもあなたたち二人は本当にお似合いだと思ったから。
Resigning herself, she answered with a wry smile.
私、紡ぐくんには小泉さんが似合うだろうって思うことにして一歩引くつもりだったのよ。それなのにあなたったらこっちのことも考えずにグイグイ来るんだもの。
Well, that's what the love note said to do. She puffed out her cheeks in protest. This too was adorable.
小泉さんがいなくなったのをいいことにあなたを奪って正直卑怯だとは思うわ。
That's silly. Whether she was still here or not wouldn't change how I feel about you. In fact, if you don't stop beating yourself up like this, I'm gonna hug you again.
それはお仕置きのつもりなの？
In my opinion.
じゃあもっと卑屈になっちゃおうかしら。
Hang on. If that's the case, I'm not showing you any mercy either. Man.
座れすぎて腫れちゃいそう。
Yeah. Must be tough. This route has a lot of action. Oh, you wouldn't know the half of it. Fucking Uta's route was mostly sex.
誰のせいよ一体。
Yours for being so sexy.
エロ。
Her cheeks flushed bright red. She seemed even more embarrassed being called sexy than being kissed.
小泉さんのことなんだけどね。
Yeah?
小泉さんが転校することになった朝、実は私彼女と会っていたの。
You did?
あの子の方からいきなり現れたんだけどね。
後で公的な連絡が来ると思いますが、訳あって私はこの町を去ることになりました。今までお世話になりました、琴ひな先生。
なんて言われて驚いて声も出なかったわ。ようやくみんなと馴染んできたと思ったのにいなくなってしまうだなんて。それで彼女は最後にこう言ったの。
言っときますけど、私紡さんを異性としては見ていませんよ。まあいい人だとは思ってますが。だから先生、紡さんのことお願いしますね。
That little.
もちろん小泉さんに言われる前からあなたへの気持ちはあったけど。
Bro gave her your blessing.
彼女の言葉が少なからず背中を押してくれていたのは確かなのよ。なんでかしら、彼女の言葉はどこか懐かしい不思議な説得力を持っているのよね。
Yeah, kind of like airy, you know.
ごめんなさい。せっかく二人きりなのに締めっぽい話をしちゃって。
No, it's okay. I'm the one who told you not to hold back when we're together. You can talk about whatever you want.
そうだったわね。
You said the same thing to me once before, didn't you, Sensei? So if I don't have to hold back either, so I don't have to hold back either, do I?
今は何を我慢しているの？
Yeah, he's holding something back. Seeing you make such a sad expression is making me want to cherish you even more than before.
さっき以上？
Like this.
吸わないで。唇が。
What isn't?
私のこといじめてるでしょ。
I prefer to call it being affectionate.
日本語って綺麗よね。
In fact, I would say that Kotahina's route, out of the three that out of Uta and Love Me Al's route, I'm thankful that I have headphones on. Out of the 3 routes that I've done, I would say that Kotahina's probably has the least action at the moment. If anyone, it was probably my modern Japanese teacher.
つむぐくん、なんだか余裕そうよね。私なんかもうドキドキしてしょうがないのに。
She placed a hand against her ample chest, fidgeting shyly. That's not true.
そうなの？
I'm probably even more agitated than you are. Especially down here. Pants grab.
あそこって。
Upon noticing the conspicuous dent in my pants, she began to tremble.
でもその。
Obviously, I wouldn't want to force you to do something like this. So even though you told me not to, I'll hold myself back if you don't want to.
そうよね。あなたも男の子だもんね。
I'm a growing boy, Kotahina.
そのままにしておくと辛いでしょ。
Yeah, he's pretty hard right now.
私で気持ちよくなれるっていうのなら協力してあげたい。
Hang on. That's not the right one.
私で気持ちよくなれるっていうのなら協力してあげたいと思うし。
I wouldn't feel good unless it was you.
それなら我慢しなくていいよ。
Kotahina! Before I knew it, I had pushed her down onto the bed again. Still somewhere between consciousness and unconsciousness, I opened my eyes. After spacing out for some time, my thoughts eventually organized themselves as I recalled what I had been doing. Beside me was the boy who had made love to me for just a short while ago, sleeping peacefully on his side. It has been 3 days before. Unconsciously, I reached out and stroked his cheek.
つむぐくん。
Her hair is extra red in this with this background. As I caressed him, for some reason tears began to spill from my eyes.
ダメね。私は。
No matter how many times I wiped them away, they refused to stop.
私は幸せになっちゃいけないのに。でもこんな気持ち初めてで。どうしたらいいの？エリー。 夜になっちゃったわね。
By the time we'd woken up after our lovemaking night, we'd already fallen in earnest.
妹さん心配してるんじゃない？大丈夫？
It's fine. I told her I'd be back late tonight. That said, it would save me the trouble of having to walk home at night if you were to let me stay over.
ちょっと卑怯よ、その言い方。
She looked at me with exasperation.
ジャージ、また貸してあげるから、泊まっていきなさい。
I appreciate it. I get to hear Kotohina's, got to wear, Kotohina's clothes again, huh? Crap. Just thinking about it's making me a little hard. Even though I already came so much earlier.
とりあえず、ご飯の用意をしないとね。また作ってあげるから待ってて。
I didn't, Shimugu, I didn't need to hear how many times you came. Let me help. I'm sure you're pretty, you're pretty tired too. After our 5-hour lovemaking session.
大丈夫よ。本棚の漫画でも読んでゆっくりしてて。
I looked to where she pointed, and sure enough, there was a large bookshelf full of manga. And compared to your bookshelf, I don't think you can consider this one large. Her eyes widened at the sheer number. My eyes widened at the sheer number of volumes she owned. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9. Right. Yeah, that's not. That's pretty. That's a pretty big number of books for this shelf, I guess. You really do love reading manga, huh?
やっぱり大人が漫画読んでるとおかしい？
Not at all. It's got content for anyone of all ages to enjoy. Speaking of which, you once said you started reading manga because your friend introduced you to it. A friend of yours.
エリのことよ。
I thought I might have overstepped a bit, but Kotohina smiled gently in response.
仲良くなり始めた頃に少年漫画を勧められたの。しつこかったからしぶしぶ読み始めたんだけど、そしたら思いのほかハマっちゃって。
I'm sure Harry-san must have been happy as well to have another friend who shared her interests.
ほんとね。あの子、漫画の話になると途端に情熱的になるところがあってね。漫画は元気をもらえるんです。友情、努力、勝利なんてことをいつも言っていたの。
Haha. That sounds just like something Ale would. Oh. I felt like I'd heard already that line once before somewhere. Was it Ale who said it?
とにかく、つむぐくんは漫画でも読んでて。ささっと作っちゃうから。
Alright, thank you.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
Now that Golden Week was over, I was finally back to routine as usual. I was eating my breakfast while lamenting the fact that Kotohina and I had only been able to see each other twice over the holidays. Ucha's cooking was delicious today, too. Though not quite as good as Kotohina's.
何か言いました？
He said it, bro said it out loud. Still, I'd be able to see her at school, whether I wanted to or not. Come to think of it, I'd be able to see her more than I did over the holidays. I couldn't wait.
兄さんがキモい。おはようつむぐ。
おはようございます、先輩。
For some reason, Kokisaki-san peered curiously into my face as she greeted me. Morning, Kosaki-san, Masura. It's not often I see you two walking into school together.
そこで偶然会ったんだよ。どうせだから一緒に行こうってなって。
I see. By the way, I wanted to say sorry to you for not being able to come into work very much during Golden Week. So when are you going the Masora route? I'm going the Masora route after everyone else. Because it takes save the best for last, you know.
いえ、それは全然いいのですが。
Although things always got super busy during the holidays, Kino-san had been flexible enough to allow me to take most of the week off. Because it takes a real man to be best girl. I owed her and everyone else a lot.
もう大丈夫そうですね。
昨日バイトで一緒になった時も元気そうだったし、もう立ち直れたのかな。
What? It's not like I was depressed or anything in the first place. There definitely had to be some reason Lamiel had to leave. Given how much of an airhead she is, she probably wasn't able to explain it properly, which is why she had to be so hard-headed about it. Yeah, that had to be it.
クルルちゃん。それにまたいるんですか、この人。
なんかウタちゃん、僕に対する扱いひどくない？
兄さんをたぶらかす女は全員敵なので。
Well,
それじゃあ永遠に和解できないじゃん。
first of all, you're not even a woman. There was no second of all.
おはよ
What?
う、みんな。
Hang on. Go back. I didn't read it wrong. First of all, you're not even a woman. Usually the first of all implies there's going to be a second of all.
おはようございます先生。
みんなで登校してきたの？相変わらず仲良しね。佐久間くんもおはよう。
I literally said she cannot keep a poker face. Worst kept secret. Good morning, Minakoshi-sensei. I did my best to swallow the joy I felt at seeing her. We were only supposed to be lovers outside of school, after all. Once we passed through the school gates, we were back to being teacher and student.
今の空気。先輩、マジですか？
Hold on, Kosaki-san. I guess it's no surprise by now, but it's scary how perceptive you are. How is she even able to tell?
いつかは話聞かせてくださいね。
I will. Sometime.
つむぐ、何慌ててるの？
Nothing. I was just thinking about how delicious Uta's breakfast was this morning.
兄さんってば素直。
Now I want to see Karuda's route. Yeah. It's between. Well, okay. There's 4 more routes after Kotehina, which is Rinka, Isuzu, Kururu, and Masora. Masora I'm gonna do last. Isuzu. I don't even remember if that's her actual name. Hang on. Yeah, Isuzu. You know, like the car brand. Isuzu, I don't know. Rinka, I'm not quite sure either. I might do Kururu's second last. Not because I don't like her, but because of exactly this. It has happened in each route. This shit has happened in every route. There isn't a secret you can keep when you've got when Kururu's around.
女が嫉妬すると怖いですよ。
Well, shit. The day began noisily. Throughout morning homeroom, the modern Japanese, and modern Japanese afterward, my lovely girlfriend stood at the teacher's podium.
それではここで虎となった李長が歌った詩について深く掘り下げていきましょう。注目すべきは2行目。再感愛よりて逃るべからずですが、
Kotahina, she's just so cute. All the more when I watch her, watch her like this from my seat. She was a bright young teacher who was popular with both boys and girls. But while she acted all prim and proper while at school, she was willing to let her hair down when she was together with me. I was the only one who knew that side of her. Crap, I'm getting excited. My head churned with moral thoughts. I couldn't contain my arousal. I wondered if there was some way I could find some alone time with Kotahina after this.
つむちゃんたら。
Okay, I'm... Hmm?
佐久間くん
What? Kotahina, or rather Minakoshi-sensei, was walking right up to me. Something like this had happened before.
またぼーっとしてたわね。ダメじゃないの。
I'm sorry. I was certain she was about to poke me in the forehead again. But she didn't.
ノートもしっかり取っておくのよ。ここ次のテストに出るんだからね。
Worst kept secret. Blushing ever so slightly, she returned to the front of the class. Cute.
佐久間、お前先生に嫌われてんじゃないか?
Okay, I guess you know what? I guess Kururu's the only smart person in this classroom. I mean, in the school. I mean, she's not in our classroom. She's not in this classroom. She's in Uta's.
当たり強かったもんな。ざまあみろだ。
Yeah, she hates us, right? Yeah. Apparently that's how it seemed to the people around us. Poor idiots. They didn't even realize she was just trying to hide her embarrassment. Uh-huh.
佐久間くんってば授業中私のこといやらしい目で見てたでしょ。
Maybe. You're being paranoid. I mean, I was admiring how cute you were, but still.
それがいけないって言ってるの？
He was definitely not thinking of any, sus thoughts. he wasn't thinking anything sus. Why not? Because it's embarrassing?
あなたのその目を見るとこの前のことを思い出しちゃうのよ。
She mumbled shyly, rubbing her thighs together. Wasn't fair how sexy she was, especially since she seemed to be doing it unconsciously.
というより本当はいけないのよ。こうやって学園で二人きりになるなんて。
It's not like that. I just came to ask you for some career counseling.
本当に？
I lied. I'm sorry. Making up an excuse just so we could be alone together. I really was acting like some perverted brat. The other guys in class wouldn't be very amused. But to be fair, I really would like to discuss my future plans with you. I still haven't decided what I want to do after graduating.
それならいいわ。何でも相談してちょうだい。
Plus, the longer we talk, the more time I'll get to spend with you.
佐久間くん？
Sorry. I better stop teasing her before she kicks me out. So, just for my own reference, how long do you plan to continue being a teacher, Kotohina? This was a serious question. I've been curious about the answer ever since she told me the reason she became a teacher in the first place.
いつまでね。考えてもなかったけど、少なくともエリが目覚めるまでは何があってもやめるつもりはないわ。
I see. This Ariamaki person really was deeply entwined with Kotohina's life after all. You told me it was her dream to become a teacher, right? That's why you two always study together.
ええ、そうね。教師の勉強は進学してからでもできるけど、専門科目の勉強は今のうちにやっておいた方がいいから。もしかして興味持った？
After watching you a little bit, I've kind of come to admire your job of guiding other people.
私はそんな大層なことできてないけどね。とにかく教師を目指すというなら応援するわ。でも大変よ。それだけは覚悟しておくことね。
Hang on, I need to...
快適に遊べるようにしてね。
Surely there's something in here that will fix the... let me see. No... There isn't anything. Yeah. No. Especially if I end up having relationships with my students. Wait, what?
佐久間くん？
I'm sorry for keeping you so late.
いいのよ。実は今の時期って一日中指導室が空いていることも珍しくないの。
Really? What about all the third years?
みんな夏頃になって焦り出すから、2年生の春から将来を考えて相談しに来る子なんてこの学園ではあなたくらいよ。
Kotohina giggled softly. I wasn't sure if that was a compliment, but that didn't matter. What did matter was... I see. So you're saying there's nobody around?
そうね。って佐久間くん、あなた何を考えて。
Pulling her into a hug, I buried my face into her neck. Taking a deep whiff, I filled my nose with her sweet fragrance until it felt as though my brain was melting.
佐久間くん
If there's nobody around, then there's nothing stopping us from doing this, is there? You're still in school.
ダメよ学園内なんだから誰かに見られたら
See? And then he's gonna be like, nobody's gonna see us.
それに学園ではしないって約束したでしょ
I'm sorry, I just can't help myself. And it really doesn't seem like there's anyone else here at the moment. What did I say? I told you nobody's gonna see us. So can't I kiss you just once?
キスそんなことされたら
It's not the first time there was a hate scene at the school. I don't remember if I don't remember if Uta had one. They just kissed a lot. Kotohina.
佐久間くん
Kotohina.
どこが1回なのよ
I know, but your lips just taste so good. I want to do it more.
さすがにそれは佐久間くんやだもう
Uh-oh.
おかしくなっちゃう
One kiss easily turned into 100, but we ultimately had to stop there. They held back. After all, if we went any further, we'd probably end up going all the way. I think that was the same with Uta. However, this is what it's like to be in a relationship with a teacher I've always had a crush on, huh? As I made my way home alone, the thought suddenly struck me. Just how fulfilled I felt. Kotohina was so cute and beautiful, and devoted and kind. Her breasts were big, her lips were soft, and she smelled wonderful too. She pampered me whenever I needed pampering. I didn't need to hold myself back around her either. She was the perfect girlfriend. But that said, I can't let things stay the way they are. It's been almost a week since we'd started dating. We'd kissed, had sex, and confirmed our feelings for one another more than enough. Yet, even so, according to the Love Note's most recent evaluation,
峰越琴ひな
90! Our fatedness continued to hover around 90 this entire time. But it wasn't surprising.
私は幸せになっちゃいけないのにでもこんな気持ち初めてね
Bro, I don't remember Tsumugu hearing this scene.
どうしたらいいの
This was from Kotohina's perspective. The night after we'd first made love. Ah, okay. The truth was, I'd overheard Kotohina talking to herself. It sounded as though this Ariamaki still held a tremendous sway over her, after all. In Kotohina's mind, Her guilt toward Ariamaki was far stronger than her feelings towards me. She felt that it was wrong to find her own happiness while leaving her best friend behind. Maybe that's why she won't say I love you. Even though Kotahina had yet to say those 3 words to me. In fact, since our relationship had started, neither of us had explicitly confessed it to each other as it were. But if my goal was to reach 100 fatedness with her, I had to make myself so important to Kotohina that she would have no choice but to say I love you. And in order to do that, Hariyamaki, I needed to face her myself. The moment I got home, I pulled out the love note. Normally, I'd write down the name of the person I loved most. But today, I wrote down the name of a completely different woman. If Kotohina were to see this, she might think I was cheating on her. But she'd have to forgive me just this once. Ariamaki remained comatose in the hospital to this day. If only I could read her mind, that would be the easiest solution. Obviously, that wasn't possible. While I couldn't do that, I did have a hunch. There was a way I could talk to her one more time. The love note began to glow. Alongside the familiar name I scribed down, the answer I was looking for soon appeared. The chill night wind pressed against my back. Beyond the now lifeless park, the still faintly lit hospital building stood out against the darkness. As though guided by its light, I walked onward. Until, finally, I came across the person I was searching for. That's where Ariamaki sleeps to this day, isn't it?
いつ気づきました？
Around the time you left. I didn't have any evidence though, so I wasn't completely sure. But you once told me that you didn't have any memories from before you became an angel. It occurred to me that what you meant was you had lost your memories of when you used to be a human. Once I thought about it that way, a lot of dots started to connect.
つむぐさんにしては勘が冴えてますね。でもラブコメ主人公はもっと鈍感であるべきですよ。
Well, when he's dating the person who knows Ariamaki the most, I don't think this is far off, Love Me L. Oh, sorry. I didn't know all the rules. I didn't ask to be the protagonist, you know. I started going out with Kotohina. Thanks to you.
さて、何のことでしょう？
Yes, you do. Kotohina couldn't help but see echoes of her old friend in you. Every time she looked at you, she would end up thinking about the past. And so you thought you were only getting in the way of our relationship. That's why you decided to leave. You goddamn idiot.
そこ褒めるとこじゃないですか？おかげで付き合えたんですよね、お二人は。
All you did was offer a temporary solution. It didn't solve the underlying problem. Even after you left, Kotahina continued to let herself be weighed down by Ariamaki. Which is why I want to be able to talk to her once more. Just once. This Ariamaki person. Or I suppose there's no need to refer to her in third person anymore, is there?
その方が違和感ないのでいいですよ。
Lamiel smiled, quietly nodding her head.
私自身も気づいたのは本当に最近です。どうやら人間だった頃の記憶は消されていたみたいで。ただ、琴雛先生、琴雛と接していくうちに少しずつ思い出してきて、それで調べてみたら分かったんです。あの日、自分がポカして事故っちゃったことが。琴雛が罪悪感を抱えているのは私のせいですけど、でも今の私にはどうすることもできません。だから紡さんに託すしかなかったんです。あなたなら琴雛を解放してくれると思って。
You really do love her, don't you?
親友ですからね。
Lamiel had been praying for Kotahina's happiness all this time. Just like I was right now.
でも今は行き詰まっちゃってるんでしたっけ？
That's right. Because the relationship between you and Kotahina is still so strong, our fadeness hasn't been able to make any progress at all. Honestly, it's making me kind of jealous.
当たり前ですよ。私と琴雛の友情に紡さんごときが入れる隙はありません。
Oh. Listen, you little...
だから押しのけちゃってください。もう何年も話していない私のことなんかポイって。今琴雛を支えられるのは紡さんしかいないんですから、俺のことだけを見ろなんて言ってかっこよく決めちゃってくださいよ。そうして琴雛の人生の一部になってあげてください。琴雛の恋人として。
She really hadn't changed one bit. Despite normally being such an airhead, she was somehow the most reassuring person to have on my side whenever it mattered the most. She was reckless, annoying, and almost gratingly cheerful. But it was the innocent naivete that saved us. Kotahina back then, and me in this moment. Of course, I'd love to mean more to Kotahina than you do to her one day. But if you ask me, I don't think that's the same thing as just brushing you aside. When I first heard Ariamaki's story, I was under the impression that Kotahina was chained to her past. That's why I told her she didn't need to hold back with me. I wanted to free her from those shackles. However, lately I'd begun realizing that wasn't the case. I actually loved the way Kotahina cared so deeply about her friend. If Ariamaki was the reason Kotahina became the person she is, and the reason she felt so inextricably attached to her, then I'd love Kotahina's feelings as much as I loved Kotahina herself. That's why I pray for her happiness too, Ariamaki. As I continue to cherish Kotahina, I'll continue to pray for her happiness as well.
吹っ切れたような顔をしてますね。
You probably know this already. God, Hina once scolded me for trying to speak on Ariamaki's behalf. And well, she wasn't wrong.
なるほど。だから琴ひなに告白する前に私に会いに来たんですね。
Yeah, but thanks to you, I've made up my mind now. I've figured out what I want to say to her.
それならよかったです。最後まで恋のキューピッドができましたね。
So, L'Oreal, you once told me that your own wish would come true once you helped me get my fatedness to 100, didn't you? Is that wish of yours? I began to speak, but then swallowed the rest of my words. Asking her if that was pointless. The happiness that L'Oreal wished for wasn't something I even needed to ask to know. L'Oreal. So instead I changed my question. And this time I asked with a smile. Do you have fun working as an angel? Did you have fun working as an angel?
もちろんとてもとても楽しくてまだまだやり足りないくらいですよ。でももう満足です。今は終わりにしたいと思っています。
I see. Thank you. The brief answer was enough for me. That was all I needed to hear. Both her feelings and her hopes. I now fully understood.
琴ひなのこと任せていいですか？
Yeah. Leave her to me. She's the woman I love after all. I'll find a way to settle this on my own. So at the very least, I hope you'll open your eyes just a little to watch over us. A faint smile crossed her lips as though she got my joke. That one final look, I turned around and began walking away. See you around, L'Oreal.
はい。またねです。つむぐさん。今までありがとうございました。
峰越琴ひな運命度90。
Well, I think that's a good
上
stopping
書き保
point
存します。しっかりセーブしてやったぞ。
for today.